Now I have the creative mind to be able to see an empty space and say, yo, this is what I can do with this place. I've been getting paid to get education from people for the last 14 years. When I have somebody sit in my chair, I'm talking to them. In most cases, I'm getting conversation from them that they charge $300-400 an hour for. That 45 minutes to an hour there in my chair, they're gonna pay me. I mean, I have clients that basically, like, I feel like they depend on me cutting their hair, and they appreciate me cutting their hair, and I appreciate them. Like, one of my clients is a dear friend of mine now. He's helped me put not only the old shop together and this shop together. Like, literally, without him, like, majority of what you see here would not happen. I first got into hair cutting while I was still technically in high school. The thought of college was basically like, I have to take on debt to go into the negative, and then I have to come back and work my way out of that negative to go back into the stage where I was at, which was not having any money, and then work my way back up to getting, you know, positive cash flow or having money. I wasn't a citizen and I didn't have papers to go to college, so I didn't qualify for any scholarships. So my options were either barber school or some other type of trade school, and I chose barber school. And it's worked out pretty well so far. My goal always was find myself a shop, learn as much as I can, and not leave there until I could open my own. So my first shop was actually not too far from here. It was on 30th and Girard. I worked at a salon, and I worked there for about 6 months. So then my next shop, I worked there for 2 weeks. I actually got nervous after my second shop because I was starting to become one of those guys that was bouncing around from shop to shop, which is never like what I had intended to do to begin with. And then luckily for me, I found my third shop. A friend of mine that I went to barber school with was actually working there. He told the owner that he knew me and that I was licensed and that I was, you know, professional and determined. And I went in there, and it was like the Sunday before school started. And like, it was, I might have worked maybe 4 or 5 hours, and I made more money in like that time frame that I made up until then my whole life. I didn't feel like I was ready. I didn't want to like leave the last shop that I worked at until like I had full confidence that I could do it on my own. You know, I didn't want to depend on anybody. I didn't want to ask for help. But what I also realized was like, there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
What was the goal? There was no focus on this jacket. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go upstairs to the sports bar,
really what was life-changing was understanding that I had to have 2 businesses to keep that place open. I was able to basically have a barbershop in the front and an event space in the back. And it just so happened that like someone who was looking for an event space, their space had just canceled at the last minute. They had about 400 tickets and 400 people that they needed to house. And I had this 4,000 square foot warehouse barbershop building, you know, that I needed money to pay the rent. It had to be handshake only. I had to trust people that I never met and know. 10 hours of cutting hair and then another 5-6 hours, you know, running an event space. That collaboration allowed me to keep my business open and allow him to keep his event business going. That saved my barbershop business. It didn't help the business, it saved the business. It wasn't easy. It wasn't as planned, but it worked out. So what's behind it all?
yeah, I never seen that joint, so I gotta go back and take a look.
As soon as you come in, it's right there. Yeah, I couldn't my advice to anybody that want to get started in anything, find someone who's in that field. Find someone who's in that field and get as close to them as possible. Once I like got out of that mindset of, yo, I got to do it on my own, I got to do it by myself, and realized that like he was really just trying to help me, and I took the help. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I'm Haitian by birth, and basically in our flag, the quote says, "L'union fait la force," meaning unity makes strength. So if you unify, you're stronger, and stronger together, and you can get a lot more accomplished that way.